So good morning. Good morning, colleagues. So I'm here to present to you on the research in harm reduction. And by the way, before we proceed with the actual lecture, so I am not here to promote any illicit drugs, usage of the needles, electronic cigarettes, and other materials capable of doing harm reduction. So this is the disclaimer. The contributors of my lecture is a colleague from University of Patras, Greece, Dr. Farsalinos. So what is harm reduction? So this is a public health issue wherein in dealing with the harm reduction, so masyado kasing broad yung definition ng harm reduction, and if you want to search on the definition of the harm reduction, most of the journal will give us an idea on the harm reduction with dealing with the illicit drugs, with the usage of the needles to prevent HIV. So doon yun ang focus ng harm reduction. But in other way around naman po, we have another thing in dealing with the harm reduction. So for example, if you want to promote or advocacy on the safety in the motor, in the utilization of the motor vehicles, so harm reduction is also being employed in this event or scenario. Kasi ano bang ginagawa natin pag nagda-drive? So we will put seatbelt. So those are the harm reduction activity daw. Okay, so if you will use motorcycle, you will use a helmet or a protective gear para ma-protect po yung individual if you want to use a motor cycle. So this is most popular thing in public health. So the barrier here is, so you want to use condom because the risky behavior among the for example among the individuals. So some of the government sectors are now promoting the usage of condoms to prevent STD or STI or HIV infection as well. So based on the a definition by Marlat in 2002, these are the policies, programs, and practices that aim primarily to reduce the adverse health, social, and economic consequences of the use of the legal and illegal psychoactive drugs without necessarily reducing drug consumption. It also refers to an approach designed to reduce the harmful consequences associated with high-risk activities. So ano ba yung mga high-risk activities? Paggamit ng illicit drugs, yung sexual activities, those are the risky behaviors. Tobacco usage is also a risky behavior. So yun ang, since all of us are, kasi syempre hindi natin makontrol yung some of the individuals, so some of the advocates are using the principle of harm reduction. If you will search on the definition of the harm reduction, this is a statement by International Harm Reduction Association, wherein it's something to do also, like I said earlier, on the programs and policies. Because during kasi nga, yung mga period na tumataas yung prevalence o kaya yung threat ng HIV, because of one of the identified factors here is the sharing of needles. So doon na nagsimula yung program on the harm reduction and other associated risky behavior as well. So nandun po siya sa ihra.com. And this is the exact definition: programs, policies, practices that aim to minimize negative health, social, legal impacts associated with the drug use, drug policies, and drug laws. It also focuses on the human rights, wherein positive change and working with people without judgment, with coercion, discrimination, or requiring that they stop using drug as a precondition of support. So if you will follow the harm reduction definition based on the Harm Reduction International, so hindi siya mag-a-apply ngayon sa Philippine context because of the war on drugs by the present administration. So I already knew that meron na ata kayo na-discuss about on this issue. But well, anyway, we will part on that situation. So these are the values and principle wherein ang gustong i-promote ng harm reduction is the the human being itself, yung behavior, accept the isolating people and communities based on the moral judgment, enhances social and health programs. Pero kasi sa harm reduction, we also want, kasi siyempre public health domain din siya. So disease prevention din ang pinag-uusapan din dito, and then education as well. So therefore, nandun siya sa krido ng human dignity and human rights. Sa principles ng harm reduction, it accepts risk-taking as normal human behavior and recognizes more success in changing behaviors when they make choices. Kasi isang aspeto naman, o isang what they call this viewpoint na pinag-uusapan natin dito is let them do the activity pero merong dapat protection, something like that. Yun ang gustong ipahiwatig ng harm reduction. Okay? So maraming maraming definition yan. So HIV, droga, ano pang naiisip ninyo, motorcycle, motor vehicle accidents, sa inyong workplace po ninyo. So kunwari, occupational health. O kunwari, minero ka, pupunta ka sa isang mining site. So syempre, exposed ka sa heavy metal. So ano ang dapat na ginagawa natin? So syempre, PPE, something like that, okay? So sa mga laboratory, particularly dito sa UST, o kaya sa ibang school na kung saan, wala pang masyadong study, wherein marami na po tayong cases na nagkakaroon ng cancer o kaya na namamatay because of the exposure of this chemical. So we need a personal protective equipment. So yun ang mga policies na dapat i-integrate sa isang institution. So yun, harm reduction na rin din po yun. So depende po siya talaga. Ngayon, yung sa droga, ano yun? Parang ibang parang nakakatakot makisawsaw sa ngayon, okay? Okay. Kasi hindi pa Okay, so those is keep people alive and encourage positive change in their lives. Kasi kapag kunwari, nag-iossi yung isang individual, ay bawal kang mag-iossi. Kukunin ko yung sigarilyo mo. So syempre, on the part of the yung mga nag-iossi, syempre, baka magkaroon po ng ibang impact yun sa buhay nila. Kasi yun ang kinagawian nila eh. So ano ang strategy natin para at least kasi we want to, kailangan ang advocate natin is, siya kasi expose siya sa diba, sa tobacco, smoking. So, anong strategy natin para hindi magkaroon ng disease progression, something like that. So, yun ang tinatawag natin ng goal sa harm reduction. Cultural din yan. So, kunwari sa North America, if you will visit North America, kunwari Canada, US, kasi may nakausap akong pharmacist na estudyante ko sa Canada na talagang pinopromote ng Canadian government yung needle program. Dito, meron ho ba? Wala pa. Pero kasi meron ako nabasang journal na meron doon sa Pilipinas noong 1990, papapakita ko. yung sinight niya na institution, if you are familiar on that institution. Pero yun nga, kasi ang konsepto nila is kaysa naman kumalat ang HIV sa country, sa territory namin, di hayaan na lang namin na na magkaroon ng needle program, something like that, diba? So yun ang konsepto ng ng Canada. Syempre sa Canada din, diba, legalize na yung marijuana, diba? So ma-apply ba natin yun dito sa Philippines? So, review na lang natin yung sagot ni Miss Universe. Okay? So yun ang cultural siya, okay? Gets po ninyo. So, yun ang wala tayong standardized na definition ng harm reduction. So, sa pag-uusapan natin ngayon, so I identified yung mga issues na connected siya sa harm reduction. So, we have the usage of the illicit drugs, so kunwari opioid-dependent users, HIV, motor vehicles, and tobacco harm reduction. So ito yung something to do with the meat and fat. Sabi nila, ang harm reduction program enable or promote drug use. Pero kung advocate ng harm reduction ang kakusapin natin, ay hindi naman ganoon ang gusto naming objective. So, we just want to make informed people to make informed choices and encourage safer substance use should someone decide to use any legal or illegal substances. Another thing, it is illegal to give out needles. In other countries or other territory, distribution of needles and drug equipment is not a crime. but it is not applicable in our settings, okay? But according to the harm reduction advocates, police and healthcare providers share in the understanding that harm reduction program use a harm reduction strategy. Kunwari, needle. So, syempre, dapat syempre single-use needle yan. Ang ginagawa daw dyan is binabalik yung needle with cap and then make proper monitoring po with regards dun po sa utilization of the needle. Harm reduction programs mean there will be more needles found in my community. Well, in fact, they encourage the users to return the used needle to the program for safe disposal na rin. At saka para hindi na magamit ng iba. So, containers are also provided to safely store needles prior to discarding with more options available. Needles are less likely to be discarded unsafely. So, these are the possible benefits kapag if you want to promote a harm reduction. So, reduce the progression of the disease, harm involving the family, friends, and society, the spread of the HIV, offers opportunity to stabilize their lives, decreases crime daw, ang ginagawa daw ng harm reduction, increasing access to care and services. So, kung ikaw ay stigmatized, so it will reduce isolation and increase support system among each other. So, sa Asia kasi, meron na daw ginagawa before na harm reduction projects. I forgot the name of the author, pero ibigay ko na lang po. But anyway, sa Northern Thailand daw, merong first multi-site needle and syringe exchange project noong 1992. So, this is a clinic, May Chan Clinic. Then in India, with the help of the use of the opioid, yung mga buprenorphine sublingual project in 1993. So this is the Society for Service to Urban Poverty. Then dito sa Pilipinas, according to sa journal, well hindi pa natin ito na-verify. So AIDS surveillance and education project here in the Philippines wherein began distributing needles daw to methamphetamine injectors in 1995. So this is the principle of harm reduction in opioid-dependent users. So if you will search on the journal, so most of the time they will use OST and SP. So OST stands for opiate substitution therapy. So ano ba principle ng opiate substitution therapy? So kunwari, may mga drug of abuse, heroin, co-convert yan, or we will try to substitute it with a more safer or more legal, long-acting din, ibig sabihin, mahaba yung pagstay ng gamot dun sa individual, with known potency along with psychosocial rehabilitation. So ito yung mga buprenorphine, na hindi naman, wala naman tayong ganito sa Pilipinas. So sa ibang bansa, ganito ang ginagawa nila. So we have the needle syringe program or the NSP, wherein based on the diagram, so mayroong packaging of the needle and syringe, safe disposal, then overdose of a certain drug medication, and then support as well. So, pero kasi, per territory or per state, kunwari, paiba-iba ng policy yan. Kasi ito galing sa Australia, itong brochure na ito, if you will search on the Google or the internet. So this is the, as part of the harm reduction is concerned, kasi sabi ko, it will also depend on the area of practice. So if you are, kunwari kasi siyempre pharmacist ako, so gusto ko lang i-share sa inyo na meron ding intervention na ginagawa ang pharmacist para magkaroon ng harm reduction activity. Kasi yung mga pasyente, kunwari sa Canada, kasi ang laging abusado daw doon, yung mga yung mga indigenous, ang tawag doon, yung mga aboriginal, yan. O yung, kunwari sa Australia, aboriginal, di ba? So, kasi mga well-privileged talaga sila, talagang to the extreme na, libreng gamot, lahat-lahat na. So, pero most of the time, majority ay nagtitake ng drugs, yung mga group of people na yun. So, well, anyway, ito yung, this is the study, Research in Social and Administrative Pharmacy, an opioid dispensing and misuse prevention algorithm for community pharmacy practice. So they come up with a strategy or algorithm on how to monitor or how to at least ma-prevent na yung let's say overprescription of the physician o kaya pabalik-balik ng pasyente. So merong monitoring scheme tayo na ginagawa. Sa Pilipinas, ano lang ang ginagawa dito sa mga butika? So kunwari, you have a prescription drug. So ang ginagawa ng pharmacist is they will check the S2 number or S2 license of the physician. Para may database i-retrieve nila kung legit yung S2 number. So kapag hindi match, ano yun? Ay, ano yan? Peke yan. Yung ano mo, prescription mo. So, hindi ka pwedeng mag-dispense ng drug sa pharmacy. So, ganun yung ano natin Yung parang yun ang counterpart. Pero dito, kasi masyadong masalimutan kanilang process. So, they have a, prior to that, merong methodology in dealing with this. So they have a discussion, group discussion on the tool and guidelines. So bago sila nag-initiate ng ganitong study, tsaka in-depth interviews. Medyo maliit lang, pero gusto ko lang ipakita sa inyo na kunwari, the patient came, arrives in the pharmacy, so merong tayong 3 categories. So kung as a pharmacist, you will check kung meron bang forgery na nakita dun sa prescription. For example, so kapag may perjury, tawagan agad yung doktor. Then, pag sinabi ng doktor, ay hindi yan, okay lang yan. So, you will now check on the, parang database siya ng mga pasyente. Kasi siyempre sa US and Canada and Australia at the same time. So, if you will buy the medication, naka-ano na yun yung information mo, ang tawag na naka-store na dun sa records ng pharmacy. So, for example, nasa Australia ka, punta ka sa kabilang province o territory. So, bibigyan mo ng authority yung pharmacist na mag-gain yung access ng information na nasa iyo. Kasi may code yun So, doon na makikita yun. So, sa atin kasi, hindi ganun ang sistema. Pero the FDA wants to implement that, pero parang medyo yun. Ang dami kasi natin, ilang milyong Pilipinas kasi tayo, di ba? So yun siya. So yun ang bottom line of this algorithm. So may mga behavior dyan. So kunwari, patients still don't want to wait. So ganyan, may mga algorithm pa sila dyan. Kasi inaano rin nila kung nag-wait yung pasyente, naghihintay yung pasyente, so may at risk siya na they will use or they will do the overdose of these illicit substances. Okay? So another thing, we have a framework they have the framework of care for opioid medication misuse in the community pharmacy, wherein, like I said earlier, they already have the screening and then the targeted MTM. MTM stands for Medication Therapy Management. So the MTM or the Medication Therapy Management is the one who manage, siyempre from the word itself, manage the medication of the patient. Kasi because of the insurance, kasi kailangan mag-swak yung sa insurance, and then kailangan makikita natin sa MTM intervention na binibigay ng pharmacist and the physician kung meron bang misuse or addiction as well. So from this, kapag merong at risk misuse and addiction, based sa assessment ng MTM specialist, they will do now the intervention. So, from that situation, from my point of view, meron ng harm reduction. Hindi nga lang nakalagay na harm reduction yung term. Okay? Baka may ginagawa tayo, pero harm reduction na po siya. Something like that, diba? So, this is the effectiveness of harm reduction program on. Ang problema lang dito, gumamit siya ng word na addict, so medyo stigmatized yung term. Ito ay galing sa Iran. Pero Elsevier siya ha. Ayan. Procedure of Social and Behavioral Sciences. So ang hypothesis nila, yung mga addict daw ay more negative perspective on addiction compared to that of the untrained addicts. Trained addicts have significantly better relationship with families, mga jowa, ganyan. Trained addicts break the law significantly less than that of the untrained addicts. So, ito yung findings nila. So, harm reduction program, trained addicts had a significantly smaller drug use tendency compared to that of the untrained addicts. Okay. So, yun ang parang yun yung result, yun yung findings nila. Next is we have...
I-accept na natin ang addict kayo.
Next is we have the cost effectiveness of the harm reduction. So, parang medyo may economic ano siya, factor on this, pero ano siya eh, based lang dun sa lay statement lang natin, ito yung conclusion statement natin na they found out na yung paggamit ng OST, NSP, or let's say, mag-insert ka ng ART, yung mga antiretroviral therapy, together, have established effectiveness in reducing drug dependency, reducing sharing of injecting equipments, improving the quality of life, and then ma-avert yung HIV infection. And at the same time, kung babasahin natin yung journal na ito, sinasabi nila na merong yung cost ng paggamit ng ganitong drug or ganitong intervention is cost-effective talaga siya. So something, yun ang pinag-uusapan dito sa journal na ito. So, dito naman, gusto lang ipahiwatig ng journal na ito na there's no single harm reduction approach. I mean, no single harm reduction approach is sufficient. So, dapat there is a synergistic, ano siya eh. So, kunwari, kung ikaw ay drug user, may HIV, so dapat may OST ka, meron kang needle syringe program, syempre may ART kasi pag ART, para ma-prolong yung life ng HIV patient. Dito naman po, pinagsama na po yung tobacco at saka yung sa HIV, na kung saan vaporized, ang title is a short communication on the vaporized nicotine and tobacco harm reduction for smoker people living with HIV, cross-sectional survey of Australian HIV health practitioners attitude. So, makikita natin dito na ito yung in-interview nila yung mga tinatawag natin yung mga nasa healthcare practitioners sa Australia na kung saan they believe na based on this nakakatulong sa mga may HIV yung vaporized nicotine product. Pati rin sa medication, the medicine is also kasi syempre pag na-overdose din po tayo ng gamot, di ba? Yung principle ng toxicology, lahat ng mga substances na sobrahan, it will also lead to toxicity as indicated by or declared by Paracelsus, the father of toxicology. So, yung konseptong iyon, dun pa lang, as a physician, nurse, or pharmacist, or nasa other healthcare team, para magkakaroon na tayo ng intervention para at least hindi na mapunta dun sa toxicity coming from the medication. So, harm reduction na din po ito. So, next is we have the tobacco harm reduction. It so happened kasi na yung research project ko sa RCSSED is I just want to know or assess the efficiency of the electronic cigarettes among its users. Kaya dito ako napalinya tuloy, na hindi ko sinasadyang napalinya sa harm reduction. Kasi parang sa Europe kasi, the vaporized nicotine material or equipment or let's say the e-cigarette is considered siya as harm reduction for tobacco users. Sa Europe yun. Pero ngayon, until now sa Pilipinas, medyo may debate pa rin po yan. I-share ko maya-maya lamang po. Okay? So, these are the same principle din ng harm reduction. So, syempre, nag-yosi. Hindi mo pwedeng, quit smoking, ora-orada agad. So, syempre, hindi mahirap kasi as for the individual na i-abruptly discontinue yung cigarette. So, there is a harm reduction on dealing with the tobacco. So, maaaring gumamit ka ng nicotine replacement therapy, yung mga champix, yung mga iniinom ng ibang individual, patch, nicotine patch. So, yun ang harm reduction. Pero, based on the study na kinonduct sa Europe, kasi Europe naman yun, yung success rate daw is masyadong maliit as compared dun sa talagang sa electronic cigarette. Kasi may isang nagsasabi doon na yung feeling na nag-yosi, yun yung yun yung gustong-gusto ng mga smokers. Okay? So, yun siya. Yun ang ibig niya sabihin dyan. Nicotine and smoking are different. According to the, nicotine is responsible for the dependence. Kasi the tobacco, kasi ang main component niya, nicotine, di ba? So, people smoke for nicotine but die from the tar. Yung conventional na yosi, meron siyang tar. Yung tar daw na yun ang nagbibigay ng diseases, cancer, cardiovascular diseases. So, yun ang pinopropose ni Professor Russell noong 1976. Ang sabi nila, nicotine has not killed any smoker. But this is the, yun yung mga nakikita natin sa mga journal. By the way, I'm not here to promote the, the vaporized nicotine products as well. So, dito po kasi, nakita rin natin dito, sa study na to, na nicotine in the form of the replacement therapies, it could be gums, patches, is approved for long-term use as smoking substitute as recommended by the US FDA and then the MHRA of the UK. Parang FDA ng United Kingdom stands for Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency ng Britanya. So, nicotine use endorsed by health organizations. So, these are the recommendation of the US FDA. It supports daw the use of the NRT as smoking substitute in 2013, and in UK naman, there's no circumstances in which it is safer to smoke than to use the NRT. So, ito yung nakita sa study na kung saan nicotine replacement therapy through the patches, gums, and other thing achieve 7% success rate at first year. Then, yung oral smoking cessation medication, like for example, Champix, achieve at around 20 to 25% success rate at 1 year. So, at least 8 out of 10 smokers fail to quit with currently approved method. 5 minutes po. So these are the harm reduction product and the tobacco. So ang major concern ng e-cigarette is the safety. Pinag-uusapan pa natin dito yung safety. So magkalaban po, parang World War, ang pro electronic cigarette and then anti-electronic cigarette. At the same time, parang bumabalik naman din daw yung pag nag-electronic cigarette ka, parang in-entice mo rin yung individual na mag-yosi, mag-smoke. Yun ang kiniklaim pagdating sa electronic cigarette. So, since 5 minutes lang po tayo, I'll just want to give you an insight on the local studies as well. Kasi ito ay study abroad na pinapakita na yung efficiency ng electronic cigarette. So, my purpose of in this research is to validate kung tama ba. Pero syempre, hindi naman ganyan to the extent kasi we need funding for this. Kasi medyo clinical study na po yan. Okay? So, para pinapakita lang dito na so from the previous slide na nag-improve din daw ang blood pressure ng mga nag-electronic cigarette as compared to sa mga cigarette smoker user. So ganun yung nila yung nila sa Europe kasi yun. What if sa study natin mag-propose po tayo ng sige nga, hawak mga Pilipino. Kasi syempre European yan, yung mga jeans ng mga yan, di ba? Baka naman yan. Hindi lang talaga sila sa electronic cigarettes. Tayo hindi hiyang. Hindi tayo hiyang sa droga, kaya yung mga tokhang-tokhang na yan. Ayan. So, help smokers to quit sa UK din daw. Sana pala ito pala yung ko. Doon ako nag-focus sa discussion. But anyway, ito yung study na involved tayo dun sa tobacco harm reduction. Nag-interview po tayo ng mga respondents through online. Naki-recruit lang po kami ng individual para makuha na ng dugo to get the cadmium and the lead level of this individual. Papakita ko sa inyo mamaya. Tapos kumama rin tayo ng daga. Okay? Para masaya. Ayan. So, dito, we utilize the 3 major groups. So, with the help of the electronic juice, easy juice na lang. Easy juice, merong nicotine. Di ba pupunta kayo sa mga vape shop, may mga nicotine yan, 3mg, 6mg, 9mg. Depende sa trip ng individual. Ano gusto mo, 3mg. O sige, 3mg. O di yun, smoke, di ba? So yun, so 3mg, without nicotine, pwede rin without nicotine. And then, mitomycin C na standard drug na nagpo-cause ng genotoxicity. So parang nakita, ito yung study design, and then, papakita ko sa inyo mamaya yung resulta. So, these are the groupings. 3 major groups for the vapors, 3mg, 6mg, 12mg, tig-10, based on the sample size computation of our station. Non-smokers, regardless of it, kasi less than 1 cigarette per day, considered siya as non-smoker according sa classification ng isang study. Smokers, greater than 10 sticks per day. Smokers, less than or equal to 10 sticks per day. And then smokers na greater than 10 sticks per day. So ilan yan? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 individuals po ang nakuha po namin ng cadmium and then also the lead levels. Okay? So, we also conducted a what do you call this? A survey wherein 220 of these, they perceive the efficacy of the advantages of using the AC. So, ito po siya. Safer daw, less harmful, safe to use, ganyan. And current price suits the general satisfaction of a person. And it is also published in Manila, ano ba to? Manila Standard ng 2018. So, na-cite na po tayo dito. Perception among 220 respondents in Metro Manila, check the efficacy of vape among users. 67.7% revealed that they did not experience any side effects in using cigarette. So, sinabi ko na dapat ano pa rin yan eh, we still need a large number for this nationwide scale talaga. Kasi 220 hindi pa talaga totally enough yan. So dito naman sa micronucleus assay, sa daga po ito, na kung saan nakita natin na nakita namin na mayroong irregularity sa mga RBC. Pagdating immature RBC, dito sa mga e-cigarette group na may nicotine. Pero mas mataas pa din yung standard drug. Okay? So dito naman sa cadmium level, makikita natin, kung matatanda natin, 3, 6, 12. So ito yung level ng cadmium level ng smoker, and then mas mataas ang cadmium level as compared to the 3 groups. I'm not saying na safe yung e-cigarette. Sinasabi lang natin na mataas yung level. Okay? Next is, this is the table in relation to this. We go now to, kanina cadmium, we go now to the lead level. So as you compare to the group, mataas between 10 sticks or less, and then more than 10 sticks of the conventional cigarette smokers as well. So we invited in the Senate to give to share the ideas on the study, and then dito sa FDA kasi ang current situation ngayon, yung electronic cigarette pinagdedebatahin. Siyempre, pumayag na ang lahat na ma-regulate siya. Pero si FDA pa rin ang magre-regulate. Dati nga, sino ba si DTI ba o si FDA? Pero kasi, something na in-introduce sa human, FDA siya. Pag-gadget, DTI ang magre-regulate. Okay? Ito kasi, under siya ng cosmetic. Bakit cosmetic yun naman colored or something? Kasi, wala ang claim, hindi pa kasi valid yung claim ng e-cigarette na siya ay smoking cessation component. Pag smoking cessation component siya, consider siya as drug. Pero sa ngayon, hindi pa siya makukonsider sa ngayon ng ganung aspeto. So, kailangan, muna siya, under cosmetics division muna siya. So, notification siya. Okay? Parang ino-notify mo yung government, yung FDA, na we will sell the electronic cigarette. Pero sa ngayon, hindi pa talaga totally established yan kasi under pa yan hindi pinagdedebatahan pa yan kung ano yung process involved with this. Kasi yung structure ng FDA medyo limitado din in dealing with the registration of the product or cosmetic products as well. Okay? So these are my references. Harm reduction, building trust, and then we also want to reduce the risk as well para ma-achieve natin yung health ng isang individual. Maraming salamat po.
Meron po ba kayo tanong kay Sir Jay about harm reduction?
Sir,
Ma'am?
sir, hindi po umabot din sa motorcycle.
Saan po?
Akala ko mayroon din kayong discussion about harm reduction from using motorcycle.
Hindi po natin na kasi sa motorcycle, because of the lack of time, hindi po natin siya na-integrate. Well, actually, by the way po, we are forming a coalition na Harm Reduction Alliance of the Philippines, wherein kasama po yung mga advocates ng road safety. So, actually sa DOST, meron silang yung proposal on the road safety. So we could at least para for funding for the DOST project, nag-open sila ng ng study proposal on the motorcycle road safety. Pero as of the moment kasi wala pa tayong we are still waiting for the yung data coming from the road safety advocates. Pero kasi nakita na rin po tayo sa mga di ba, yung pinapakita ng government agency with regards sa data.
Interesado lang po ako kasi sana dun sa coalition na magagawa, meron din yung representation mula dun sa mga areas, halimbawa yung mga GDAS, yung difficult to reach areas, na talagang habal-habal lang kasi ang means of transportation.
Sige po.
Kasi parang alam namin na bawal, pero wala kasing other choice. Yung option mo, maglalakad ka ng malayo. So, para lang, kung hindi man natin totally, kasi yun kasi po yung dilemma namin. Parang, hindi man namin sila, wag na kayong bumiyahe kasi wala kaming sasakyan or yung mga tao doon. Paano na lang siguro yun, mabawas-bawasan yung risk.
Yung harm.
Oo, yung harm na associated with motorcycle riding.
Maganda yan.
Maganda po yun.
GDA, mabilis na.
So that's a new research. It's a new research area. Last two questions po, so before we have our lunch. Alam mo sir, yung mga students ko sa Emberan, obsessed sila ngayon sa Joule. May bago na kasi ngayon, yun ang ginagawang research ngayon ng mga students ko, a group of my students. Kasi, ang tinitignan natin, di ba, yung vape, mga ganon, may isang bagong release, ang tawag ay Joule, J-U-U-L, na para siyang USB stick lang.
Yes.
Yeah. Tapos, mahal yung contraption, pero mas mura yung filter or kung ano yung nilalagay nila doon. Tapos sabi ko, isn't that much of a killer? Kasi feeling ko vape is a killer. Tapos sabi nila, no miss, this is better for your health kasi vape is whatever, ganyan. Sabi niya, ito, literally, parang ano lang daw, not even vape na may hagod. Ito wala daw talaga. So what do you get from it? Miss, just pure nicotine. So go. Okay. So I think there's the evolving trend na talaga in the consumption of nicotine, which Sir Jay's work is. Do you think the Juul community is going to be subject to the same issue that vape community had?
As regulation is concerned, yes po, kasi may electronic siya di ba? So, ang pinopropose nga nila is dapat merong DTI, parang i-review din ng
DTI
yung mismong gadget. Kasi may case kasi may sumabog, di ba?
Oo.
Tama ba, sumabog?
Pero literally, isang mahabang stick lang siya nakulat. Sabi ko, how do you use that? Sabi niya, parang charge lang din daw or
Kasi kung kung first time mo makikita yan, parang nakakatakot siya kasi syempre nababalitaan natin na sa mga sumasabog ng mga But anyway, parang sa ganung na rin ang vape yun, parang
kadugo na rin ang vape.
Kadugo na rin.
Mas higher
Mas higher siya. Yung efficiency ng delivery ng nicotine na-achieve.
So to commerce and health ang connection. Baka health economics pa siya.
Tsaka mas
From Enderan, mayayaman nila.
Hindi, may ang talaga itong batang.
Unlike yung vape, yung, what do you call that?
Pwede nilang
yung
gawin yun lang
cigarette.
sila lang eh. Ito
Oo,
in-order daw
mas
nila
mura
to sa
siya.
Japan. Tapos ko, paano yung dinadrop-drop nyo na gano'n? Sabi niya, well, may local producer na. So, sabi niya, gusto daw niyang kompetensyahin. So, sabi ko, okay. But that was interesting for me. Kayo po, any other? Yes, sir.
Yung study ba that may narrate experiences of yung mga pumunta sa jeep tapos namamalimos na mga bata may fall under the field of harm reduction.
Kasi
Pwede
Or may
po.
mga ganun na bang stories or studies about
Wala pa po.
wala pa no, yung how frequent yung
Kaya nga po
Nila
yung harm,
tumigil.
depende din
Nila
sa
kasi.
nakikita natin na pang araw-araw. Kunwari, yung sa bata na namamalimos. So, syempre, parang part na rin siya ng road safety kung iisipin. Kasi nasa kali sila. So,
Correct.
po.
tapos
So,
kasi minsan
Shady siya.
yung kiniklaim that they are from let's say yung pajama,
Girl
tapos may
pajama.
baby pa, tapos umaandar pa minsan, di ba? Tapos
maganda siyang study.
still no, for
Part din siya.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. If there's none, how about a round of applause again? It's your vote. Okay. So it's 12:30. I suppose you want to have lunch and finalize your output.
Yes.
How about we meet up at, let's say, 1:30? Yes. And we're gonna meet up at the 4th floor. Now, when you present your group works, can you please not overdo it, because we're not judging you today. We're being
exercise.
it's collaborative, right? This is not a thesis defense. I hate, you know, when I got here this morning, I hate the feeling that you were so anxious about it, because this is but I do appreciate your concern about it, because I know that you really wanted to do well about this. And what I want to have is a wonderful collaboration by the 1:30, and actually the entire afternoon. We're not here to downgrade anybody's idea about something. Hindi po kami ganun dito. Hindi po kami nagsasabi, ang pangit ng grammar mo. Hindi kami ganun. Pag-chichismisan ka lang namin. Joke lang po. So, that being said po, joke lang po yun, okay? Medyo konting totoo. Pero, that being said po, I'll see you, we will see you 1:30. Voluntary na lang po.